Hello again, guys. Hey, I just wanted to make a short video here to give you an update on what's happening with Nanox. I've been trying to do an even deeper dive into this during the past week or so, and I'll have some more information to share with you in the coming days. But I wanted to make sure that you are aware that Nanox will be presenting at the JPMorgan Healthcare Conference. That conference started today and runs through the 14th. Nanox is presenting on the 14th at 9:10 a.m. Now, it's not possible to participate in the JPMorgan Health Conference unless you have an invitation. Those invitations go to customers of JPMorgan Chase. But Nanox is making their presentation available on their own website, and that presentation will be available for 90 days following the conference. So I wanted to make sure that you were aware of that and can tune in sometime on Thursday to listen to hear what Ron Poliakin, the CEO, has to say. I also wanted to update you on Nanox and their 510(k) submission to the FDA. This comes from their initial presentation to the SEC way back in the summertime. And this bottom paragraph is where I want to focus. It talks about how Nanox submitted the Nanox Arc. Just to refresh your memory, this is a picture of the Nanox Arc. This is what we're talking about. In this, they load their X-ray sources into this little looped chamber up here, and the X-ray beams would then come down at various angles towards the patient. This is the Nanox Arc. So Nanox submitted their 510(k) application actually to a third-party reviewer who then would submit it to the FDA once their third-party review is complete and they have made a recommendation to the FDA. So let's just make a quick sidestep to look how this third-party review takes place. So the FDA has a process where they have already pre-approved third parties to review the 510(k) submission from various companies. In this case, it would be Nanox. The program is intended to help yield more rapid 510(k) decisions to allow the FDA to focus its resources on higher-risk devices while still maintaining oversight and review of the lower-risk devices that are eligible for third-party review. Nanox then is at this blue step here, and they submitted a form last January to the third-party reviewer. That review came back with some concerns that they had, and they asked Nanox to submit more information. That information was then collected, and Nanox has since resubmitted that information to the third-party reviewer. The third-party reviewer then, when they feel that the information is complete, will send that on to the FDA with their recommendation. The FDA will then deliberate on that, and they actually make their decision and send that back to the third-party reviewer. Then the third-party reviewer sends the final decision back to the submitter, in this case, Nanox. Now, this third-party review process and submission to the FDA can take anywhere from a few weeks to more than a year. Now, the 510(k) process is interesting. It is a way that companies can try to get their equipment cleared. That's an important word here in this process, the word clear, not approved, but cleared. This is what the FDA has to say about a 510(k) submission. It's a pre-marketing submission made to FDA to demonstrate that the device is to be marketed as safe and effective by proving substantial equivalence to a legally marketed device that is not subject to pre-market approval. Now, they go on to describe what substantial equivalence is, and essentially it just needs to be similar to an already cleared device. It does not need to be identical. It just needs to have some similar characteristics. As I read this, I thought, okay, that's important because if there are any other similar devices out there for the Nanox Arc or for the way that Nanox is performing their imaging, then that will potentially help speed up the clearance process. In fact, I think that will be key for Nanox to receive clearance from the FDA, depending on which similar product they decided to choose. Now, important in this 510(k) submission, as you read through the details, is to understand that Nanox only submitted a single source arc for their initial 510(k) submission. What does that mean? That means that the type of Nanox Arc that they submitted is only going to have one X-ray tube in it, one source. It won't have the multiple ones that they're intending to place in the device that they actually market in the future. That one single source is what they will start with. They are planning to submit the multiple source 510 to the third-party reviewer. That was supposed to be done during the fourth quarter. It will be interesting to see if during his presentation on Thursday that RAND indicates that that has been submitted. Now, some other interesting things about their 510(k) submission and their strategy to bring this product to market. They specifically state in their SEC S1 presented back in the summertime that they will be bringing to market their first version of the Nanox Arc will be a three-dimensional tomosynthesis imaging system. Now, tomosynthesis is different than tomography. Tomography goes at least 180 degrees or more around a patient. Tomosynthesis goes less than 180 degrees. What's the difference? Well, it's going to produce different image quality. That's important to know. But remember that this device is, for the most part, intended to be used in areas that are medically underserved. So although the quality of the image may be different when compared to modern CT scanners, the intent is to produce diagnostic images. Thus, when I said that I was unimpressed during the RSNA presentation that they made back in December with the tomogram images, that may indeed be what we initially see coming out of Nanox, at least for their initial stage. Now, again, the 510(k) submission for the multi-source Nanox Arc should have been submitted. We'll wait to see if indeed RAND says that it has been submitted. Now, what do I have coming for you in future days? So I will be paying attention to that presentation on Thursday, and I will give you my review of that Thursday afternoon. Additionally, I've been diving into some of the physics of Nanox. Now, they haven't been totally forthcoming on their mechanism of how they're doing this. I guess that's understandable since it's proprietary. But there are some similar companies who have been trying to delve into this way of generating X-rays, the cold cathode tube. So I'll talk a little bit about cold cathode, which companies have been bringing that to light, and how then that could be expanded towards Nanox and their way of doing things. I'll also give you some information on experts who are promoting this venture. I think it's important to see well-known academics who can explain and are endorsing Nanox. You may or may not know I am a radiologist, so I have some understanding of what's happening here, but I'm definitely not a physicist, although I did have to pass my physics board to become a board-certified radiologist. That's it for today. Keep your eyes and ears tuned for Thursday, 9:10 a.m. again, and you can catch that on the Nanox website, not on the JPMorgan website, unless you have been specifically invited. Until then, enjoy your investing.